into what the offense is doing. He made such big plays in this game to keep our offense in it, and of course, it's a group effort on that side, offensive line, skilled players who are touching the football. I know they obviously, want that fumble back, but all around to put up 26 points, that's going to be winning football for us every week.
Fred, how big is it for this team to go out and win the first two games on the road?
It's huge. I can't, really express how big that last week's win was to get us going, to be 1-0 in the division and on the road to start the year with a lot of young guys. We knew we had a huge test ahead of us this week, especially with some guys down on the offensive side, and that didn't change our preparation in any way. It was just an understanding, right? I think you got to pack your defense on the road, and so there was so much to clean up today. I was frustrated as heck to let up 6 in those moments, especially long drives where we should have been off the field. But man, you love to clean it up after a win.
Maybe you can take us through the last drive, Fred. They were chipping away at 5-6 yard throws, and then you had your pass breakup in that husk. What was going on in that drive, and is there any flashback to Seattle where they got you all the way down to the red zone?
Yeah, no, I think the biggest thing in those moments is, man, nobody has to be Superman. They're the ones that got to be Superman in those moments, right? They're the ones that got to try to chunk us down the field all the way to eventually score a touchdown. It's not even, they weren't even trying to, it's not a field goal situation. They're trying to get a touchdown, right? So all the pressure's on them. Let them catch those 3, 4, 5 yard catches. Make him play quarterback. It's a young quarterback. We have tons of respect for Spencer Rattler, right? We spoke on that before the week, but for a young player, it's hard for him to really dice a defense, as talented as ours, to really go all the way down the field, and especially without a run game. I think the run game throughout the game allowed them to continue drives, and obviously silly penalties kept them in the game on some of those drives. But we made the plays when we needed them, and so happy for Bryce, man. That was such a big play at the end, and always find a way.
Can you walk us through the forced fumble and the recovery that you had, what you saw, how you were able to get that out?
Yeah, just all day they wanted to get 41 in the flat, with space. He's such a talented player with space, and you saw today with some of the tackles that he was breaking. But I think Tig did a great job of getting out there and wrapping him up. And the dude is crazy. He had the ball way up here, and so I came in thinking I'm going to catch the ball when it flies off his head. And then last minute, as I'm arriving, there was moments in that drive prior where you see it on the tape. I'm trying my hardest to find an op, and I told those guys, I'm like, bro, it's coming. Just give me an op. And then that was the moment. Time just kind of slowed down. I was able to punch it out, and I knew for a fact he was still up. So I'm like, hey, we gotta come on. That's why they didn't show it on.
Kyle?
No, I did not tell Kyle. Kyle, he makes all the decisions, right? So, but I knew for a fact they didn't show it on the big screen for a reason. So I'm like, hey, we gotta see that thing one time, right? So it's good.
When you get
Two more guys?
big punts late in the game by Morstead that pins him down inside the 10, does that raise the energy level of the unit, or how does that have an effect on you guys?
No, absolutely. I think I'm so happy for Timo, man, to come back to his hometown and make such huge punts in those moments where we needed it. I think the field position battle was just as big, as the turnover battle, right? To be able to hold him back there so that our defense can play backed up and put the pressure. It puts the pressure on the offense, especially late in the game there. Huge punts.
You mentioned not needing superheroes on your guys' side. Obviously, what Huff did late was replicating what Nick did last week. Is superhero-like. How does that? What is it like to see it from your vantage point? On that kind of play.
Yeah, we got talent all over the field, man. It's about everybody just doing their 111, dominating their one-on-one, and in those moments, obviously it's just about even more so just being so dialed in on your one-on-one and dominating that. And you got closers like Nick Bosa and Bryce Huff and all these guys. We're only going to continue to get better, so excited.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Christian's right here.